I mean, that's exactly what helped me. It helped me so much to never give up on myself. Because at the end of the day, all I have is me. I'm the most important person to me.
Mary J. Blige stayed quiet for years, but now she's telling everything, and it's worse than anyone thought. Behind the fame was pain, pressure, and betrayal. From the studio to her personal life, nothing was easy. The truth is raw, and once you hear it, you won't look at her the same.
I was working at Alexander's. Remember, I don't know if any of you guys remember Alexander's. Woo! But Alexander's was a department store on Central Avenue. And I was folding clothes. That's what I was doing. I was a sales associate. That's what I was doing.
Mary J. Blige's music journey didn't start in a fancy studio. It began in a mall. Yep, just a regular mall booth in White Plains, New York. She recorded a cover of Caught Up in the Rapture by Anita Baker, and that one little tape changed her whole life. Someone passed it on to Uptown Records, and just like that, she got a chance. A real one. At that time, she was still a teenager living in the tough streets of Yonkers. Life wasn't easy. Her family struggled, and she grew up surrounded by poverty, pain, and violence. But her voice? It was something special. Deep, raw, and full of emotion.
Once I was a little girl, music made me happy. It brought me the most joy out of everything. If I opened my mouth to sing, it just set me free because I just felt like I had something that wasn't from this world. I had something different. I had something that money couldn't buy. It made me feel better.
When she signed with Uptown Records, they saw her potential, but it was a young Sean Diddy Combs who took her under his wing. He didn't just guide her, he shaped her sound, her image, even her attitude. He pushed her hard behind the scenes, sometimes too hard, but it helped create something new. A mix of R&B and hip-hop that nobody had done like her before.
We had to go through the 411 album to get to the My Life album. And it's always hard to revisit, but it's all healing. I think that if I wasn't supposed to go through it, God wouldn't allow me to go through it. You know, I had to sing these songs on tour like all my life. You know, so I have to feel that stuff again and again and again, and I'm not afraid to feel anything.
When Mary J. Blige dropped her first album, What's the 411, in 1992, people could already tell she was something special. Her voice wasn't just good, it was full of feeling. But it was her second album, My Life, that really hit people deep. That's where she poured her heart out. Every track was packed with pain, heartbreak, and truth. At the time, Mary was going through a lot. She was in a toxic relationship, she struggled with depression, she felt like she was barely holding it together. Instead of hiding it, she put it all into her music. That's what made My Life so powerful. She wasn't pretending to be perfect, she was just being real. Fans didn't just enjoy the songs, they felt them. It was like she was singing the pain they couldn't explain. People going through their own struggles finally had music that understood them. Mary's voice became a kind of therapy, not just for her, but for everyone listening. She once said that making My Life saved her, and honestly, it helped save a lot of other people too.
I think I cut it off, like I stopped immediately when I realized that, I could lose my voice over this. I could lose my career over this. Your body starts to tell you after a while, you can't do this anymore. Most of the times I was just depressed and didn't want to live.
Mary J. Blige looked like she had it all: fame, success, hit songs, and awards. But behind the scenes, she was in a dark place. As her career took off, the pressure kept growing. And with that pressure came pain she didn't know how to deal with. So she turned to drugs and alcohol. Mary has been open about it. She said she started using to block out the memories from her childhood abuse, trauma, and feeling alone. She once said, "I was just trying to survive." And that's exactly what she was doing. She wasn't partying for fun. She was trying to numb the sadness, the fear, and the deep emotional wounds that never really healed. At one point, even when she was winning big, like her first Grammy, she couldn't feel happy. She said she was high at the time and barely remembers the moment. On the outside, she looked like a superstar. On the inside, she was falling apart.
I never thought that I could. I never thought I was supposed to. But after I've been through so much and come through so much, gracefully.
Yeah.
I owe myself a thank you. And that's why I said I want to do something I've never done before, because I never thought
that I could, you know. We grew up thinking we couldn't boast or brag or, you know, love on ourselves. And now I'm doing all that. I'm boasting, I'm bragging, I'm loving on myself because I've earned it.
But Mary didn't stay there. She made the choice to get help and take control of her life. She started working out, eating better, and doing the hard work of healing. Today, she talks about how loving yourself is the real fix, and she's proof that no matter how far you fall, you can always rise again. Mary J. Blige's early love life and career weren't as glamorous as they looked from the outside. Behind the award shows and hit songs, she was going through real pain, especially in her relationship with K.C. Haley from the R&B group Jodeci. What started as love turned into one of the most toxic parts of her life. Mary and Casey were young, in love, and both rising stars. At first, it seemed exciting, but the relationship quickly went downhill. Mary has shared that there was emotional abuse, control, betrayal, and moments that left her feeling trapped. There were public fights and private pain. She was crying inside but still showing up in front of the cameras trying to act strong. Fans didn't know just how bad it was, but if you listen closely to her album, My Life, the pain is right there in the lyrics. While all that was happening in her personal life, she was also dealing with pressure at work. Sean Diddy Combs, who helped launch her career, had a big role in shaping her early music. He helped her become a star, no doubt about it. But Mary later admitted that during those years, she didn't feel free. She wasn't allowed to fully be herself. Her image, her sound, even the way she spoke in interviews, it was all being controlled. She once said that Diddy wanted her to be successful more than she did, and that pressure crushed her at times. Mary had fame, but no peace. Between KICI and Diddy, she was stuck between love that hurt and a career that controlled her. It was too much. She started drinking more, she used drugs to escape, but through all of it, she kept writing, singing, and pushing forward.
Through two very painful, very public divorces, I've had to learn to forgive. Like, is that something that you had to go through as well?
What I learned is that forgiveness was for me.
Yeah.
So excuse me when I say this, the hell with them.
She turned all that pain into music people could feel, songs that told the truth, albums that helped others feel less alone. Even when she was suffering, she gave the world something powerful. And when she finally walked away from all that darkness, she came back stronger, wiser, and ready to take control of her own story. That's what made Mary J. Blige more than a singer. She became a survivor. Even with all her success, Mary J. Blige still faced moments that hurt. One of those moments happened during a simple shopping trip. She went into a fancy boutique with her stylist, Misa Hylton. They had money. They had a working credit card. But that didn't stop the store clerk from treating them like they didn't belong there. The clerk looked them up and down and said the card was declined, but when they called the credit card company, they found out the truth. The card was never even swiped. The store didn't want to serve them. Why? Because they were young, black, and spending a lot of money. The staff couldn't believe they were legit. That moment stuck with Mary. It wasn't about the clothes, it was about the disrespect. Mary later said they treated her and Misa like little street kids. This wasn't just rude, it was racism, plain and simple. It showed her that no matter how famous you are, some people still won't see past the color of your skin. That moment reminded her that even fame can't protect you from hate. And sadly, it wasn't the last time she would face something like that, but she never let it break her.
We wanted that doll so bad, but we didn't know if my mom was going to get it for us or if she can afford it. And she surprised us with, my sister and I, both of us, with a Dancerella doll. And that was the only doll we ever wanted because we didn't really play with dolls.
Right.
Mary J. Blige didn't grow up with comfort or peace. Her childhood was full of pain, fear, and struggle. She was raised in the tough neighborhoods of Yonkers, New York. Her father left the family when she was very young, and her mom worked hard just to keep things going. But inside their home and around their neighborhood, Mary saw and heard things no child should. She once said she never saw a woman in her area who wasn't abused. That stuck with her. At just 5 years old, Mary was molested by someone she trusted, a family friend. She carried that pain for years. As she got older, she turned to alcohol and drugs to deal with it. It became a way to numb all the feelings she couldn't talk about. But through it all, one thing helped her survive: music. When Mary started writing and singing, she poured everything she had into her songs. Her 1994 album, My Life, wasn't just music, it was her pain, her truth, her healing. Fans felt it. They didn't just listen, they connected. So many people saw their own struggles in her voice. But Mary didn't stop with just telling her story. She wanted to help other women too. In 2007, she started a foundation called FF, the Foundation for the Advancement of Women Now. Through it, she helps women get education, confidence, and support. She also started the Strength of a Woman Festival, where women come together to talk, heal, and grow. There are music events, workshops, and real conversation. Mary knows what it's like to feel voiceless. That's why she now uses her own voice to lift others up. She turned her darkest moments into a light for other women to follow. Her message is simple but strong. You can survive anything and you are not alone. Mary J. Blige didn't make it to the top alone. One person who stood by her and helped her through tough times was Jay-Z. Their bond goes way beyond just music. Jay-Z became like a big brother, someone who gave her advice, support, and protection in an industry that can be cold and cruel. They've made great music together, but their friendship was about more than hits. It was survival. He helped her stay focused and reminded her of her power when things got rough. Mary had to fight hard to get where she is. The music industry didn't always treat her kindly. She was dealing with personal battles like addiction, toxic relationships, and childhood trauma, while also dealing with the pressure of fame. But through all that, she stayed real. She never let the industry turn her into something she wasn't. That's why fans love her. She gave people music that felt honest, raw, and full of truth. She didn't hide her pain. She used it to create something powerful. And she didn't stop at music. Mary took everything she'd been through and brought it to the screen. Her acting roles in Mudbound, Power Book 2, Ghost, and others showed a whole new side of her. In Mudbound, she played a quiet, strong woman trying to survive in a harsh world. That role earned her Oscar nominations and made history. In Power, she plays Monet, a tough woman with layers of emotion underneath. She's not just acting, she's channeling her own life into those characters. Mary J. Blige's story is more than music. It's about surviving, healing, and rising stronger. From heartbreak to Hollywood, she turned pain into power. If her journey moved you, hit like, drop a comment, and share this with someone who needs a reminder that strength can come from struggle.